The list of aspiring candidates for the 2025 presidential election has increased, and it keeps on increasing as we move closer to October 2025 presidential election. However, many Cameroonians are still confused as to who would be their choice of candidate for the upcoming presidential election. We started with a few number who had indicated their interest to run as the president of Cameroon, to challenge the incumbent President Paul Biya, or to challenge the CPDM party, because as of now, President Paul Biya has not officially declared if he's going to run or not. So, what is on the table for voters? What are the stakes? These are four areas that Cameroonians are concerned about. Cameroonians are concerned about the integrity of the candidates, the aspirants. How much integrity do they have? Are they people who are wishy-washy? Are they people who say A, and in the next 2 years they say B, and in the next 3 years they say C, and in the next 5 years they say D? Take, for example, the Anglophone crisis. It's a barometer where we can actually measure those who have been consistent as far, and who have integrity as far as the presidency of Cameroon is concerned. From the early 2016, some of the candidates refused to acknowledge the Anglophone crisis. Some of them refused to see that there was an Anglophone problem. Some of them genuinely said there is no Anglophone problem. If you add that, and today, they are now telling us that, oh, yes, there is Anglophone problem. Yes, you know, Anglophones are being marginalized, and I can solve it. If in the early 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, we move right to 2025, you had not acknowledged the fact that there was an Anglophone problem, and that the problem has not been adequately resolved to down the guns of the Northwest and Southwest region, and you're coming in 2035 to say, in 2025 to say, yes, there is this problem, Mr. President has not been able to solve it, and I can solve it. That is what Cameroonians will call inconsistent and lack of integrity. Another aspect that Cameroonians will look at is the creation of jobs and the production of goods and services. The unemployment rate in Cameroon is all-time high. In fact, the money value has dropped. The value for money has dropped. Money value is what money can buy in terms of goods and services. A lot of youth these days practice what is called disguised unemployment, and they keep asking one simple question: when shall we have the opportunity where the youth shall have jobs that whose take-home package can actually take them home? Many of us in Cameroon, our take-home package cannot take us home. It cannot even take us halfway for us to check. And so, candidates are not promising what Mungo Park left undone. Today, we are hearing candidates telling us how they will build bridges in areas that don't even have water, that don't even have a stream. How will you build a bridge in an area that don't have a stream? Today we are hearing candidates telling us how they are going to build skyscrapers in areas that are highly volcano. We are hearing candidates telling us today that they will be down to earth, whereas these candidates have not made themselves present for news, to interview them, for the media, for journalists, to have access to them across the country. Today we are hearing candidates who are saying that they will be down to earth, listen to the people. But since 2018 till date, these same candidates have not talked around Cameroon to ask the problems that Cameroonians are facing. Just few have actually done so, that have moved across Cameroon. Cameroonians are not stupid. Cameroonians are highly intelligent people, and this time they have a report card. They have a report card to also remind some stakeholders that the road of our nation, 60 years after we regain our independence, is galloping and is deplorable. And even top ministers have themselves acknowledged that the roads are terrible. Should we remind you of the arrival of the Delegate General of National Security en route to Mutengene? And when he came back, what did he say about the road? Today, that same shade of road, especially when you go to Bikoko, is still there. Not to talk of Carrefour music. In fact, the traffic these days is terrible because of the inconsistent nature of our roads. Should we remind you of the Minister of Territorial Administration who went to the Grand North and acknowledged that roads is an issue? Should we remind you of the people of Menchum Division, Momonjikwa, Atong, Oshe? Should we remind you of the people of other regions in Cameroon? Let's keep that aside. Today, Cameroonians are asking, what of the level of security the guns are still using out in the northern and southwest region? The candidates that are coming to resolve the issues are yet to look at it. Should we remind you also about the health sector of Cameroon, where many are saying that the health sector in itself is a shadow of itself, where the common man cannot have adequate or good medical treatment? Should we remind you of the educational facilities, where our educational system is even itself a problem of itself? This is House of Commons with me, Tah Mai Jarvis. I want to wish you a very, very special happy Sunday, my friend Didi, who is in Switzerland. Happy Sunday to you, my dear. Hope that you're doing well. And a special happy Sunday to all those of you watching us across the world. I'm thinking about you, my very good brother, Mr. Nyam Robert, and your wife, Juan, and your children, Maya, Kelia. And happy Sunday to all our faithful viewers who have been viewing us. And, of course, to you, Mr. George in Canada. I want to wish you a very special happy Sunday to you, Mr. George in Canada. And our guests who are already here in the studio. In the studio, we have a militant of the Social Democratic Front who has been so vocal in terms of the fact that we must keep away Jacobinism and embrace a system of governance that is there for the people, by the people, and with the people. A system of governance where the people are held accountable for every action that they take. A system of governance that would make sure that the respective culture and Bajura nature of our nation is respected. A system of governance in which it makes us to understand that the state must be for the people and not the people only for the state. That is the person who have also fought so hard to see that those who are fighting in the northern and southwest region should down their guns, and he has always been the one who sacrificed himself and his life across to move and take people to court in the diaspora to make sure that they are held accountable for the atrocities being committed in the northwest and southwest region. Several names have been given to him: Black Leg, Dark Leg, and so on, but he has always remained consistent in the fact that the peace in the northwest and southwest region cannot be negotiated with those who are actually carrying out guns, that the way to resolve our problems should be through peaceful and through the ballot and through a diplomatic means. Paddy Asanga, member of the Social Democratic Front, happy Sunday and thanks for joining us.
Yes, Jarvis, it's always a pleasure to share your panel, and as you rightly named it, the House of Commons, which means it's the place for the common man, and I want to welcome all the commoners in the house, Dixon and Nick, who are going to join us into the debate. I also want to say hello to Desiro Hambu, and especially to Vidal Boda, my brother from the other side. I say other side because he's a Francophone, but actually from Buda. And I also want to say courage to all the members and militants of the Social Democratic Front on the national and international scene. That said, Jarvis, you invited me today to talk about octogenarians who have resigned from a sinking, or they are pretending to resign from a sinking boat. And you have to look at the profile of the people, and then you will know who they are. So it would be very uncomfortable for me to talk about them without looking at their past, because these are people who betrayed Ahijo. You understand? Because
we'll be coming back to that.
No. Let me say.
We'll be coming to the debate.
Yes. So that withstanding, I have to plant the decoration by saying that you have invited me to talk about people who betrayed Ahijo and attempted a failed coup against Mr. Biya. And if anybody wants to trust such persons, be mindful that you are going to be a victim of these people. Thank you for having me.
In the studio, we have a Engineer Dixon, who is a pedagogue across higher institutions in Cameroon. He has trained thousands of students across Cameroon and has been there to make sure that the nation actually benefits from his expertise in terms of looking at how we can restructure our towns and cities to make sure that they meet the modern day city level, and has always faulted those who are in charge of the waste management of our state, noting that there are better ways in which we can manage our waste that will be productive and that will in return create employment and also create a green environment to benefit not just us but the generations to come. He has always been firm on the fact that our educational system need to be restructured to be hands-on and need to specialize on key areas and not be jack of all trades and end up being master of none. Dixon Shu, son of Miami, happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, Jarvis, and thank you for having me on this big platform. Happy Sunday to my fellow co-panelists, Mr. Nick Anu, brother, and my brother, Mr. Padi Asanga of the Social Democratic Front. Happy Sunday to our televiewers. I think it's a rare privilege for me to be here to share this rostrum and share our ideas and illuminate the common man who is in the house now watching. Happy Sunday to all our televiewers. Thank you.
Nick Anu, also a member of the civil society. He is from the Libya LM, and he is here with us. And I also have the fact that Nick is a proponent of objectivity, and Nick has always been on the fact that we must look at the nation and hold leaders accountable to what they do and not just what they say they will do. Nick is here with us. Happy Sunday, and thanks for joining us. Alele.
Happy Sunday to you, Mr. Jarvis. Happy Sunday to my fellow co-panelists, and happy Sunday to all the televiewers of House of Common, my media prime. A special happy Sunday to the people of Fontem watching us at this moment, and a special happy Sunday to my brothers, and especially at Tabang Julius in the US, who is a fervent follower of this program. Happy Sunday to you, and thanks for having me here.
Begin with you, Padi Asanga. We have seen wave of changes as far as the political landscape is concerned. There is always a phrase that you always use, that jungle never mature. And as the jungle gets mature, we are seeing change of positions. To begin with, the Minister of Employment, the Minister of Employment and Vocational Training resigned from his ministerial position and also denounced supporting President Paul Biya. He has been his ally for long. Did that surprise you?
When you have to do with personality like Mr. Tchiroma Bakari, you should not be surprised at any point of your life. This is somebody who spent 7 years imprisonment. And when you have listened to his utterances on the political scenes, on pertinent issues in this Cameroon, he keeps telling you things that are not realistic. I think one of the latest outing before this charade that he's claiming that he's resigning from the government was he said he would accompany Mr. Biya to the end of time. That is what Tchiroma said. And then he comes back. Do you know what he said about the Anglophone crisis? When you talk about somebody resigning and the only ambition is to be president, do you believe that that person has a political program, or he is just rigmaroling? How can you be a minister in a government that you have served for how many decades, and out of a sudden you notice that your president is in wheelchair, his mandate is coming to an end, he might be overthrown by the will of change. I'm saying he might be overthrown.
I'm talking about the issue now.
No, but anybody who is above 90 is very normal. It's a wheelchair person.
No.
So
the president is working now. Let's keep that.
Well, those are my languages. Take it from.
No, yeah, but they are languages, but
no, you see. Okay, so let me say a president who is febrile. Is that okay?
Continue, but the words we just.
No, he's febrile. Let's say it as it is. If not, you will not have what you're having, and nobody respects what he says. And now you see people decamping from him, trying to come to say that they now belong to the opposition. How can you be in opposition and you think that we will trust you Those of us who have been in the opposition for 35 years. How can you? It doesn't work like that. So they are only trying to prove to us that these people who are supporting them and following them don't know where they are going to. You have said that Mr. Biya is like Jesus. He's like the sun that even shines on bad people. And then you come today and start saying that all blame is on Mr. Biya. Now, getting back to the far north, or the north where they both come from, is it today that they are noticing that schools in the north are under trees? Huh? Is that what you want to tell me? That it is only today that Tchiroma and Bello Buba are noticing that children are schooling under trees in the north? That the north don't have roads. What is the contract that they had with Mr. Biya? Just to be embezzling monies from sovereign ministries? Is that what you want to tell me? So it is impossible for you to come to me or to Cameroonians or to Anglophones and tell them that Mr. Tchiroma is a credible person. Where is he going to make his campaign? Did you think Mr. Tchiroma will actually go on the field in the northwest to go and campaign with what he said about the Anglophones, or when he lied that nothing was happening in the northwest region and the military was not killing people?
Maybe he can argue that he was just a government spokesperson speaking.
So when you meaning that government spokesperson will paint the government black, because if you are government spokesman and you do things like that, it discredits the government for which you are working for. That's it. You cannot be a government spokesperson and you see that this is black and you call it white. So these are people who have helped to open the eyes of Cameroonians, and Cameroonians who hold them accountable. They should go on retirement and sit quiet rather than coming to deceive Cameroonians that they have resigned there. They might be also playing a double squad, because you see some naive people within the opposition who run towards them, maybe because they want some part of the money that they have embezzled, whereas they are only trying to beat up to get higher ministerial positions with more sovereignty, because whether they like it or not, Mr. Biya is not going to live forever.
Okay.
And change is on the way. We are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. But we that have kept on the flame burning for 35 years, we are not going to sit down with these people and have any discussion. Let that one be clear.
Okay, we'll be coming back to you. Engineer Dixon. Tchiroma Bakari took many by surprise, or were you shocked with Tchiroma's outing that he was not going to support President Biya again? And also, were you also shocked that Bello Buba yesterday, Saturday, officially accepted the people's call from his party to be as the presidential candidate of his party?
The only one that shocked me is the outing of Minister Bello Buba Maigari for Tchiroma. I think he has been very inconsistent as far as his political opinion is concerned. I remember when he came from Nigeria, from exile, he was strongly against the government until he became part of the government. I think his first ministerial position was Minister of Transport. He held the position of Minister of Transport close to 7 to 9 years. From there, he was sent to Ministry of Communications, and then Ministry of Employment and Vocational Training. And like my brother Pade Asanga said, I also followed that interview recently before his outing. I'm talking of Minister Tchiroma, where he made mention that he's going to accompany President Paul Biya to the end of his career. So him coming out today, I don't know the message now he's struggling to convey. Does he mean that the career of the head of state has come to an end? I think that he should review his statements and also understand that Cameroonians are observing. The common man is watching, and the thing is the same person, like Mr. Pade Asanga said, whom during the Anglophone crisis, when he was Minister of Communication, when things were boiling up in Northwest and Southwest, came out and said, nothing is going on there. Militaries, the boot of the military are not there. They are not doing anything grievous and all of that, which at that time we were on ground, we saw the reality. So I think that the outcoming of Mr. Tchiroma is not really a surprise to me. But as he has to question his own attitude towards those he has pledged allegiance to, because in the corridors of power, there's no forgiveness. I think we should get that very clear. As the popular book, The 48 Laws of Power, rightly mentioned law number 1, which says, never outshine the master. So if you have pledged allegiance to a system which you have benefited from for close to or over 20 years, and then wake up one morning thinking that you can fight against that system, to me is something you should go back and review. You know, so it's not all about interest or trying to lobby for higher ministerial positions. I think that it's not today they are coming to realization that our hospitals are not of standards. It's not today they are coming to realization that our school system produce graduates whom we still say they don't have the necessary qualifications to be employed. It's not today they are coming to realization that we don't have enough food to eat and prices are skyrocketing. It is not today they are coming to realization that farm to market route in this country is a sham. It is not today they are coming to realization that Cameroonians born in Cameroon cannot access identity card. It is not today they are coming to realization that youth of this country are massively migrating out of this country. It is not today they are coming to realization that the industrial development index of this country is very low, thereby resulting to low productivity, which leads to low GDP. I think this guy should get serious.
But they may argue that the reason why they are coming up now is simply because maybe within the corridor of power they have been echoing this, that change should be done, and perhaps they have been promising them that okay, we shall, and maybe because they have not listened to them. And
Mr. Jarvis,
coming out.
20 years is too much. If you echo your opinion in the first 5-7 years and you are not listening to, you resign. You resign. It is the honorable thing to do. But now you have eaten. Your family have benefited. And then you wake up one morning that, oh, it's now that your eyes are clear. Oh, the president cannot manage situation. And now you want to come out. Cameroonians are not fools, Mr. Jarvis. Cameroonians are not fools. Those games, they can't work. On a serious note, they can't work. Because I don't really know what they are trying to do. The common man is facing realities in the streets. And you are there in a 2D playing games. You have been rubbing shoulders with this government for years. It's available my Gary since I was in primary school. Since I was in primary school, he has been in government. Since I was in primary school.
He was the first Prime Minister of President Biya.
You get what I'm saying? So you can't rub shoulders for over 30 years. And then now you are coming to realization that the man you have been following for the past 30-something years is not able to handle situations. Are they working within constitutional confinement? We have a constitution. It is not you to wake up and say the head of state cannot manage affairs of the state. There is a constitution. You understand? And under what evaluation are you saying that? You were part of it. You heard Ministry of Employment. How many Cameroonians had employment under you? Go to the streets of Biya. Come to the streets of Douala. Go to the streets of Yaoundé. See what graduates are doing. Master's degree holders are doing to earn a living in this country. You were Minister of Employment
and vocational
training.
How many vocational
centers did you create? How many employment did you assist the government in creating? And today you are waking up saying, oh, the head of state is incapacitated. So to me, it's a chameleon kind of attitude which I cannot accept.
Nick, and were you surprised by this outing of Issa Tchiroma Bakari and also Bello Buba? Bello Buba says the people called. Tchiroma says the people's call. At the end of the day, how many people are calling where and how?
Yeah, this issue of the people's call in Cameroon is becoming out of context, because everybody always claims the people's call, right from the CPDM. You hear people address motion of support and send and say there is a people's wish. People will say is the president wants to run again, that the people are thirsty for the rulership of the president again. So we wonder where all these people are coming from. Yeah, I for one, I was not really surprised at the supposed resignation of the Mr. Tchiroma. Yeah, I was like asking question, why should he be resigning at this time when the mandate of the president is always coming to an end, and it is now that he's resigning? Why did he not resign 2018 or 2020 or some years later? So all of this just shows the insincerity and the inconsistency in most of government ministers, and especially those government ministers who are coming from like the Grand North. We're not saying that their own is different from ministers who come from other regions of the country. We're taking into particular the kind of life or the kind of deceit that is being that the population of the Grand North is being used as political tools, as a vote tools. At the end of the day, those they actually send to represent them don't actually represent them. They represent themselves. They represent their families. I don't know why somebody will resign and at the end of the mandate of a president, or towards the end of the mandate of the president, and then is now castigating the nature or the governance of the president. Somebody who has placed the president equal to God, because he said the president is like the sun. Yeah, because he's only got that. It's only in the scripture you see God being described like the sun. And to me, somebody like a devout Muslim using that kind of utterances is a sacrilege. And that somebody should use that kind of a description to describe a human being. That's a kind of political exaggeration that we see most of political leaders do most of the time, which is not correct. I think somebody like Issa Tchiroma, when if he says resigning, he was supposed to quietly go to his village and have some rest and leave the political scene for the younger people, the younger generation to follow. Not wanting to pretend under the so-called people's call to say you want to stand for the president of the country.
Benny, I have a question. You are a Christian. The Bible talks about forgiveness. So if someone has been through sin for a long time and realize that, hey, I've been through sin, don't that person have a right to forgiveness and make amends?
I obviously believe that it is a constitutional right to maybe resign if he feels that where he is not moving. But we as the common people, we try to look at the motives. We don't look at the resignation. When a system is not, when you're after working in a system for so many years, and it is now that you're realizing that the system is bad, what kind of alliances would they form with the CPDM that now they are realizing that the system is not favorable to them? We may not actually know what is happening internally in the dynamics of power within the CPDM, and we may not, they may actually have some information that we don't have, and which is warranting the kind of reaction they are reacting at this moment. But we are looking at these people, we are looking at their antecedents, we are looking at people who have been in government and want to promise us heaven and hell, I'm in heaven. When meanwhile they have taken us through here, and they have still kept us in here, and they are promising to tar the road from here to heaven now, and they are saying that they will be the ones to do it. We look at it as a contradiction. Yeah, we look at it as a contradiction, because these people don't have anything to show, even where they come from in their own villages. Most of our political elites, they are like that. It's not only political elites from the north, political elites from every region of this country. The political positions they give them are for their families and for themselves and for their mistresses and the rest. So they don't care about the people. They don't care about the common man. That's why they can always use every opportunity to manipulate public opinion in order to gain favor from the people. I think these people, if they are tired of the system, they were just supposed to have a rest and then give way to those who have a dynamic opinions to move the country forward. And we are calling on maybe some naive opposition should not fall prey of this kind of people. These old people with old tricks, thinking that these people have become overnight opposition parties. They have never been. And I don't see how somebody who's an opposition party will form an alliance with the ruling party, and it just negates the notion of being an opposition in the first place. Okay. And you form an alliance for your own benefits, for political positions, and at the end of the day, when most of them, I think their crime may be that the ministerial departments they give them, there's not so much liquidity and money that flows there. And I think if they were in some other ministries that are lucrative, you will not have seen this kind of resignation that are coming. Remember, this is also a minister who's, during when he was Minister of Transport, money contributed by Cameroonians disappear in the plane. I don't know whether I'm sure most of us know the story. Disappear in the plane between Paris and the plane where he was. The money that was contributed to support the Indomitable Alliance. I think most of us remember that story. Yeah, that was during when Mr. Tchiroma was Minister of Transport. That happened, and up to today, no account has been given of that money. I don't think so. All of this inconsistency with inconsistent people should not be what Cameroonians should be interested to be talking about these days. Cameroonians should be talking about coaliting forces in order to move this nation forward. It doesn't matter who can lead that coalition, whether it's the SDF, whether it's the MROC, whether it is the PCRON and the rest. All what we, the common people, are interested is to see a united opposition front. We don't care how that unity can be, but we really want to see this kind of a united front that can be able to fight and beat the ruling CPDM. Yeah.
Okay, happy Sunday to the House of Commons. The opposition should not be fooled. Those ministers that are pretending to have resigned are dash of the CPDM. When the CPDM will score 35 and they each score 12%, summing all together a total of 59%, by that making CPDM to be long live democracy, to be in power. This is Emmanuel in Bamenda. This is a myth that many Cameroonians, before I get to Padia Sanga, there is a myth that many Cameroonians are having, and I had this argument with some on social media the other day, that they think that Cameroon electoral system is a way that if Engineer Dixon has a party, Nick has a party, after election we can just join the vote. It doesn't work that way in Cameroon. It doesn't work that way. So this is the myth that many Cameroonians have, that they join vote. They don't join vote as long as election, the constitution doesn't give the provision for joining or vote, amalgamating or vote. That you can only have that technically at the parliament, where they decide to say, okay, I will vote in line with the CPDM in terms of this bill. Then you can have that. But in terms of voting, no party can say, I take my 5% and add to this 15%. That is not happening in Cameroon. And this is the education that many Cameroonians don't have as far as that is concerned. Many keep telling you, no, this person will add the vote, this person, they don't add vote. Party Asanga. But isn't it worth appreciating in terms of the democratization process of Cameroon to see that a minister is resigning from the government, or ministers are resigning from the government to actually announce their bid for presidential parties. That not democracy that the Social Democratic Front fought for in the early 1990, and right up to the day that Chairman Nchupichem died, preaching the fact that people should be allowed to air their mind and to take their political decision. Is that not a sign of democracy?
Well, you see, if you, government appointed ministers, or ministers who people who are appointed to governmental positions, they are not prisoners. They are free to resign, just like you can still reject your appointment. In the history of this country, people are behaving as if Mr. Tchiroma and this other guy, the Professor Kamto, are the first persons to resign. No. The most prominent Cameroonian whose resignation has had an impact on the life and government policies in this country is called Garga Haman Haji. And when Garga Haman Haji resigned, he was at the time minister in charge of, at the time it was technically the territorial administration. And he saw what was happening. He resigned as early as 1991. And he joined forces with Chairman Frundi, and you saw the results. And you also have people like Titus Idzwa, who have resigned and found themselves in prison. You also have people like Marafa. So when you say people resigning, it is just because when you are a minister in Cameroon context, you are a demigod. And people think that, they keep dreaming that to become somebody, or to become prominent, or to be a political figure, you must be a minister. No. I have more respect for people who get elected into office than people who are appointed. I'm not a fanatic of appointments. So I personally respect those people who go on the field, seek for votes, and then stay their grounds. A political party is meant to govern. Mr. Tchiroma Bakari and Bello Buba Maigari, they have governed this country to failure for so many years. So their resignation is inconsequential as far as
what do you mean that they have governed the country to
failure? They have been part of government.
To failure. What do you mean?
They have governed the country to failure. What are we talking about? What are Cameroonians crying all about? What do we have? Don't we have students going to school under trees at the far north, where they both originate from? Can you see that thing in the northwest and southwest region? When last time I visited in Garwa, that was 2013. I saw an Anglophone primary school somewhere at Rumjaja. I saw one at Pitwa, and then there is also one in how do you call this? They call that Kati at Bas area Agarwa. So you have a plethora of Anglophone schools in Francophone regions, and these people, they don't have the notion of building schools, community putting hands together. They get their positions as ministers, come and sit in Yaoundé, build their house. Do you know the mansion that Bello Buba and Issa Tchiroma are living there in Garwa? Do you know? It is there at Marware, at Pumpumre. So this is not something that it is new that they are resigning or they don't resign. Their resignation to me is inconsequential. If you can feel that Palais de Congrès with, let me say, 5,000 people, it's not going to change anything, because the people of the North are getting their eyes open, and there are voices that are coming up to tell exactly what has been happening and all the games that they have been playing up North. It has not yet ended. So we are waiting for them to get the birds from their resignation. After 1 week, the things will sink and the chicken will come home to roost. Remember that Issa Tchiroma is carrying some casket, and now that he's not a government minister, he can be arrested. Just like Titus Edouard was arrested.
But what could put me?
I'm telling you that he's carrying some casket. I am not the one to come and say things here. Other people will say it.
I understand, but what could
Issa Tchiroma is somebody who is very dirty in his way, the way he does politics.
The way he's not dirty.
Yeah, I say he's very dirty. I've not said he's dirty. I say he's very dirty. in the way he does politics.
Who is not
So
very dirty.
if he finds himself where Titus Uzua found himself, it will not be surprising to me. He has been a very vulgar person when he was Minister of Communication, said all sorts of things, misleading the people, just because he had a sovereign ministry that he did a lot of dirty things there. I say very dirty things.
But will you blame former minister Issa Tchiroma?
The only minister that has ever resigned in this country that I have respect to, and he is today at the Konak, is Mr. Garga Haman Haji. His hands are clean, and when he speaks, you see integrity. He has written books that children should go and read, not these clowns like Tchiroma is.
You cannot call, no,
He's a clown.
No.
I am saying it.
Party, yeah, I agree, but we take exception to you calling people names on TV, not party.
No.
I
How
agree.
can how can somebody come and say on TV and behave like Jean-Michel Cancan?
I agree. My media prime take exception to that particular word.
What is that?
That particular word that you use, clown. We take exception.
So
but you can continue.
So when you look at the profile of somebody like that, I remember one time he was when he was released from prison, he was actually an Ahijoist. This was somebody the boy of Ahijo, as we call it in Pidgin.
But there is a picture of Minister Tchiroma with the chairman.
Being with the chairman, it doesn't mean that the chairman has anything to.
Did they have any alliance at the time? Did he work with
you see
together at the Union for Change?
No. It's Mr. Tchiroma had never been in Union for Change. Mr. Tchiroma was arrested in 1982. He was part of the 6 April.
The coup d'etat.
Yes, he's a prisoner. But when they came to pay allegiance to the chairman, because the chairman had launched the SDF, permitting other people to come and open their political party.
Okay.
So they came to the chairman not to show love to the chairman, but to copy and betray what they call the opposition, join the presidential majority, and took us where we are today. So you cannot be telling me you saw pictures with him. Everybody in the country, apart from the UPC, who is talking of being a politician today, is thanks to the courage of the chairman and the founding fathers that nobody could nurture that courage. Whereas there was a constitutional vacuum. This country has always been a multi-party country. It's just that because of the repression that our brothers of the UPC went through, people went underground and were militating underground and were afraid. At a certain point now, some courageous people like the Frundis, the Sigas, the Abemukongs, and the New Wakais had to come out and say, no, but this, what we are doing is not illegal. So why are we afraid? And these people have benefited from that and taken us to the wrong direction. You know why I'm saying this? I'm saying this because when you go to the history of this country also, you will notice that at a certain point, when the SDF made the monumental error of its existence by boycotting the elections of 1992, the legislative elections of 1992.
1996?
No, 1992. There was legislative elections of 1992. That is the direct consequences of what we are facing today. Because if we went to that election, we would have swept majority of the parliamentary seats. We boycotted. And when we boycotted, the opposition still won. If it was not of Dakole Daisela with his 6 votes, and then Biya would have not have been able to govern. And from there, Dakole Daisela was given a ministerial post that gave Bello Buba and the rest appetite to join the presidential majority.
Okay.
So we should stay away from such octogenarians who should be at the retirement taking care of their grandchildren, resigning and pretending to be part of us. We are not part of them. They can form an alliance with all the ministers who have resigned from Mr. Biya's government to replace Mr. Biya, but we are saying that we want to transit from Mr. Biya's system of government to a federal system, because Mr. Biya is a Jacobinist, and he will never change the way he sits. He pledges allegiance to France. I heard that before Issa Tchiroma resigned. Before Issa Tchiroma, you hear me, before Issa Tchiroma resigned, he went and told the French embassy. I have also seen Akeremuna in France. I've seen Camto in France. I don't know whether Bello Buba also will find himself in France.
But
Our sovereignty lies in this country. But did you ever see the current chairman with any French president? Did you ever see the French chairman at the corridors of Élysée? Did you ever see when the chairman went to France, you saw him with socialists? Because
the chairman has been to France too now.
Yes, but he's going there not at Élysée. We are part of the international socialist movement.
Okay.
We go to Germany where there is a socialist party, SPD. We go to France where there is a socialist party. We go to South Africa. We go to Ivory Coast, and so on and so forth. That's how we do our politics.
Okay.
But we shall not sell Cameroon like other people have done to France.
We'll be coming back.
Let that be clear.
We'll be coming back to you. Good afternoon to you all in the studio. I am Joel from Bafoussam. Please, I want to go out of topic to notify you about the drug issues in Bafoussam. Please use your platform to talk against drug and the chain of chain of ETA. Mr. Jarvis, the drug dealers here don't hide where they sell it. Police and gendarmes park their cars there to protect them. The situation is terrible. I have written many times to notify the governor in their suggestion box, but the chain is long. Drug dealers drive big cars and they are well known. Nearly all youth in Bafoussam are into drugs. It disturbs me a lot that it is That is why they engage in armed robbery and prostitution. The situation here is terrible. This is your writing in Bafoussam and calling for the administration that be to look into the issue of drug in Bafoussam. And we were I think this weekend a good consignment of marijuana were seized in that same western region of Cameroon by Cameroon's custom officials, which means that to some extent they are doing the job, but Joe is saying that the government needs to do more. Good afternoon. On the panel, Minister Tchiroma is on a mission to see what is going on the ground. Jonathan writing from Yaoundé. This other one says, happy Sunday, Jarvis. Please send me the link for today's program. I need to follow it on my phone. I will send it to you. This other one says, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Mr. Jarvis and your panelists. Actually, the two northern ministers who recently resigned have reached a deal with the CPDM, raising suspicion. I believe this is a calculated political move by the CPDM government, which has faced growing criticism and lost credibility, particularly for its neglect of the northern region. By using these former ministers, the CPDM may be attempting to regain influence and secure votes from that area. I see this as a strategic ploy to win another mandate, with the expectation that the minister will eventually rejoin the ruling party, further eroding public trust. Genuine political change in Cameroon. Prince Bele Fendi for writing from Germany. Let me come back to you, Engineer Dixon. Engineer Dixon, I want us to look at this issue about Minister Tchiroma again from a different perspective. Do they have what it takes to pull the national card and to get voters' credibility? As Hanada is talking about the issue that is running for election, Bello Buba, does he have what it takes to actually outsmart the current opposition party based on the current dispensation? And also Tchiroma, will Tchiroma also be able to campaign in the northwest and southwest region?
The thing that no one can stop is the evolution of a people. I want to believe that they are still having their hands on all strings, believing that the people in the north still listen to them and believe in them that much. But people, like I said, are not fools. You can't live the same reality over and over under the illusion that you have someone who is going to ameliorate your situation, and after years and years and years the situation have not changed. It's quite embarrassing that they are the ones who still come up and say there are places in northwest, in far north and north, that children are still studying under trees. You are an elite in that area. What have you done so far while you were serving the government? It shows that the multiplying effect of what they have done to their people is very minimal. And that brings me to a conclusion that I don't believe that they have the backbone to pull the strings they used to pull back in the days, because people of the far north today are very educated, thanks to the very system who gave university to far north, University of Marwa. I was there. I'm a student from there, the Polytechnic Marwa. I think majority of students there are Nordist. So they are well educated. Thanks again to the very system that is fighting, that has guided the University of Ngaoundere, which is now undergoing extension with a newly created mining, the only mining and geology and mining school created by the state is in Ngaoundere in Menganga. And the students are writing today. There is integration that they are writing. Go and check that list, Mr. Jarvis. Majority of them are Nordist. List of authorized students to take that concours. If you just go to Ministry of Public Works, download the list. Majority are Nordist, very few Anglophones. Then they have given them extension in the newly created Chemical and Process Engineering Department, which is the backbone of engineering that we need now, because process engineering cuts across every industry. You know, we are a primary economy that needs transformation. So if the head of state is sending all of these nice programs to the north, and you now wake up, instead of working with them to guide and then see how they establish the secondary sector and the primary sector, you wake up and say, oh, things are not well done, and you can fix it. After how many years?
Maybe he's looking at me, Maybe he's looking at it from a national level, that it should not only be in my area that these nice things are done.
He is talking based on his area. Has he ever come to Northwest or Southwest? I can't remember. Is that Tchiroma ever stepping his leg in the Northwest and Southwest?
He doesn't care.
I can't remember.
They don't care.
So you are asking me a question that do they still have the string to pull? Do they still have the muscles to pull the string in the north and far north? I said no. They don't. The realities have changed, and the Nordists are not that naive the way they used to be. So if they really want to do politics, they should say things that are clear. Start by giving your blueprint on what you have done. That is where they begin. Start by telling us, let us see clear what you have done while you were with the government. Don't just wake up one day and say you are no longer with the government and this is what is supposed to be there, this is what is supposed to be there. People from the opposition, if Mese Pade Asanga, the SDF can be speaking like that, I understand. If Maurice Kamto can be talking like that, I understand. But they are coming now.
We have run councils and the results are there.
Exactly. So
we have run councils and the results are there from what we did. And if not of this crisis, I don't think that the Bamenda will be at the stage in which it is today.
So that is
nobody
my point.
can deceive us
That is
anymore
my point.
in this country.
You can't come and manipulate. Maybe he is believing that he will go back to the north and manipulate the northeast, but I doubt. Because even the SDF chairman, when he entered north, the way he was received, I saw the cafeage that came out, the population that came out, and I also saw the population that came out when Tchiroma went there. The difference is clear. So I don't think that the muscle is there. So all of them are playing the 9-minute game under an illusional assumption that the regime is gone or the regime is finished, but they may be wrong. So that is my stand.
Okay, let me take on some messages before I come to you, Nick Ano. This other right, it says, good afternoon in the studio. I am George from Bonaberi Douala. The two ministers are just using their influence and resources to maintain or gain power for personal benefit rather than serving the public interest. This one says, I am Celestine. Celestine Wanyo Sanfon, writing from Yaoundé. Good afternoon to you all. I think we should be happy that some barons close to Mr. Biya are resigning from the Biya's regime. Who amongst you sitting there asked Mr. Biya to resign as the president between 1982 to 1990? But today everyone is asking Mr. Biya to resign. Tchiroma resignation has helped to open the eyes of those who also refused that they resigned. Okay, that open the eyes of those who refuse, that the regime had no problem. We should be thankful to God for bringing confusion to the camp of dash dash. We don't care to know where Tchiroma will be kept after, where Tchiroma will be kept after all this, or to what he becomes. Let all of them keep resigning. Brandon, right? He says, good afternoon, House of Commons, and to you, Mr. Jarvis. The thing is, any Cameroonian that is being deceived by the so-called resignation of Tchiroma is still under the worst form of dash dash. As such, a Cameroonian is not worthy of his or her citizenship. Funny, I seen even Anglophone talking about this like some sort of achievement. Someone who denied the existence of the Anglophone crisis, the very government he protected. Today, Tchiroma is the dash choice, a green snake in a green grass. They know what they are playing at as such hypocrisy. This is coming from Leonard, writing from Bamenda. Nick Anu, if we look at this current landscape now, should opposition parties be afraid of the arrival of Tchiroma? And it means that the days ahead, as each day goes by, we have good number of political parties aspiring presidents in Cameroon.
Yeah, it is as if every village in Cameroon will present a presidential candidate this year. As the day goes by,
New candidates are coming up.
No, it's not true. It's not true, because
so it is as if
we can only have about 29 presidential candidates, or 19, as if my memory doesn't fail me, between 19 and 29. All the other people who are, because the rest might be independent candidates, but all those people who have one municipal councillor, they are eligible to become president if they are going to have the what it takes, or the means that it takes to pay for their caution. It's a different thing. So we should not listen to all this declaration of candidacy left, right, center as something. There are people who are not serious, because inside Tchiroma, apart from the north, where would he have a campaign space? Where? No, tell me. Do you think that inside Tchiroma or Bello, who are only based on the electorate, is only based in the north, are serious presidential candidate? Those are the questions you journalists should be asking, but you are not doing it.
But I've asked that, does Tchiroma has what I asked? Okay, I asked you.
But he responded, yes. And you are repeating and setting the illusion that
it's not an illusion. What I'm asking you, Nick, is, based on the fact that when we see Tchiroma's resignation, should other opposition party be trembling based on the voting block? If we look at the North, has a good voting block. The North has a good voting block, and you cannot also negate the fact that Bello, Buba, and Tchiroma will
a voting block that is tired with the old tricks.
Okay, because
they are not the only ministers from the north. You also have the General Assembly, National Assembly. You have other bigons, other barons.
Yeah, the minister that
you still have Fatil, yes. And all these other people from the north. So Issa Tchiroma is a non-event, and you people should let's talk about something else.
You can also say that is
we cannot undermine the impact that these two people may cause in the political landscape within the northern region where it comes to vote. We cannot minimize that, and the opposition, the other opposition parties, to me, will be too naive to me to neglect that fact. These people, they have a kind of influence, I don't know, a kind of manipulative influence when it comes to their electorate over there. They will have a way of manipulating them. They will speak to them in Fofode, and they can have a way of changing the electorate in favor of them. To me, that would be a distraction. I can call them distractions today, because the North is an important electoral district that every opposition party should be interested in. And if there are some political clowns who are there who will cause some kind of distraction. I think the serious opposition party should take this as should take this kind of matter very serious, because they will distract votes that maybe will have gone to the SDF, maybe will have gone to the MROC, and so on and so forth. And so you cannot just say Issa Tchiroma and Bere Buba may not really have an impact in that region. We don't actually even know what is. All of this may even be a trick between them and even the CPDM where they're coming from the government. It may even be a trick to cause this kind of distraction. We don't know. As the days go by, we are just trying to analyze the situation. And though these two people cannot have any kind of national impact, we know that very well. But their impact will be felt in that particular region, maybe in the region of in the north, in particular, where they come from. The far north may be different. The far north may be different because there are other political actors there, like the President of the National Assembly. We don't know. Also, maybe in the days ahead, he may resign. Also, we don't know, as this new wave of resignations are coming up. But to me, as my cry remains the same. The opposition parties that are vying for at least, let me say, serious opposition parties that we know them, that are vying to take over the leadership of this country, should work together and forget about the issue of wanting to change Cameroon by becoming president. Because most of them, their own notion of wanting to change Cameroon is to become president. You can change Cameroon in various ways. You must not be a president to change Cameroon. And all of these guys should know that none of them is bigger than this country. Their interest, none of their interest is bigger than the interest of the Cameroonian people. And they should kind of sit up and try to come out with a kind of political alliance. We see political alliance in every country. It is a very serious affair when it comes to winning election. Yeah. You saw in Nigeria how Buhari tried forming alliance for several years with Tinubu and the rest and how he came to power. Later on gave the mantle to the current president, was Tinubu. They came through a political alliance, merging most of their small political parties together to form a stronger force. But when you talk to opposition parties today, they will tell you that who should lead that. Their interest is who will lead that kind of coalition. Still going back to the aspect of personal interest. Most of them, if it is not them, then there should be no alliance, which is not supposed to be the case. They know very well that it will be difficult to beat the current system, not because you cannot beat them, but because the current system controls the arsenal of power. They control the arsenal of the law and everything that it takes to win election. It's not because in a free and fair election you can still win the CPDM hands down, and coupled with the fact that the poor political culture of Cameroonians. Most Cameroonians are not politically educated, they are not politically matured, they are just politically naive. They don't know the importance of politics to their day-to-day life. So coupled with all of this fact and the constant manipulative nature of the regime in place, they make sure they manipulate the masses in order to lord over them, to control over them all the time. And we were expecting that after 2018, our opposition political parties should go to the grassroots, go to the people. They should not wait until now, like we have seen most of them, before they come up and they're talking. They were supposed to, after 2018, they learn the lessons. They do a lot of political education, but most of them were not doing this. You go to most of their Facebook pages at that time, this is where you can do a lot of political education. Most of them don't do that. From 2019,
yes, 2020,
up to now, most of them were not doing all of these things. Somebody like, most
No. SDF has always been on social media.
Yeah.
And the truth is this. There must be a political opportunity for you to come out and do some grassroots work for people to have for it to be perceived. But we have constantly been doing this grassroots work. We have held political conferences in summer universities just to tell people what the notion of federalism, about socialist lineage of a political party and all those stuff. We have been in Paris and in other places. So please, just give me a break when it comes to what the SDF has done and has given you people in this country.
Yeah. So I was saying that without this work that these opposition parties have failed to do over these years, is going to kind of impact them if they don't really find a way. I listened to Professor Kamto talking about the issue of coalition. He was saying that one of the hindrances is that what kind of mechanism would they put in place to choose or to come, what kind of mechanism would they put in place to come out with a kind of guideline in order to bring in different political ideologies together and to form a united opposition front. I tried to analyze, and I was seeing that all of these things also just stem from personal interest. If you know very well that you are not bigger than the Cameroonian people, your interest, your political interest, your interest of becoming president of Cameroon is not bigger than the interest of Cameroonians, you'll be able to give up your opposition at any moment and to give way for a unity that will move the nation forward. If it is that it is a united opposition that will beat the CPDM, the opposition party should be working towards that at this moment. I'm not thinking that when their votes are dispersed, they'll be able to win the CPDM. It's very, very difficult to win the CPDM with a dispersed vote system coupled with voter apathy that's in Cameroon. The statistics of the last election, 6 point something million Cameroonians registered to vote. Just about 3 million people, 3 point something million voted. Just meaning that 3 million people did not vote. Just a serious voter apathy. Couple that the opposition will have learned from that at this moment and try to do a lot of political education. Okay. Most of them, you see them on Facebook. They only talk maybe when the government has done something wrong. You see them only Facebook castigating this point. You hardly see them on the, for example, somebody like Professor Kamto is a law professor. There's nothing that stops him from giving that free lecture on his Facebook page. Maybe he just come today, go live and say today I'm talking about the electoral laws of Cameroon. Try to explain so that maybe the common man will really understand what the electoral laws of Cameroon.
But they will tell you that it's a strategy, not saying that it's a strategy.
No, that's just free political education. That's not campaign.
They will tell you that it's a strategy.
No, it's not. To me, it's not. It's a naive strategy. Yeah. Yeah.
Civil Academy.
Academy headed by Professor Ngole. Yeah.
The activities around the year.
Yeah.
Who is stopping them?
So the opposition party should not think that there will be a political miracle in Cameroon this year. The only political miracle that can happen in Cameroon is if the consciences of Cameroonian people really change, that a lot of people can come out this year to vote and maybe be more concerned about the political life of this nation. If not, there will not really be a serious change.
Good afternoon and happy Sunday to you guys in the studio. Thanks very much for the good job you guys are doing to change the nation. The government are trying to manipulate Cameroonians through Tchiroma. Cameroonians are not stupid. This is the time for change, and the change can only come through voting. We all have seen that the regime in power have done so much as has done for the past decade. Let Cameroonians be wise and vote for change. Manjong Etienne, writing from Bafusam. Special greetings to Mr. Padi Asanga. I love the courage of you. I love the courage you have, sir. That's one is coming from a viewer, Padi, acknowledging your courage. This other one, right? It says, happy Sunday to you guys in the studio. I am Roslyn from Nkwen Bamenda. I am Roslyn from Nkwen Bamenda. Thanks for the interesting program. As concerns Tchiroma resignation, I don't believe in it because CPDM militants can trick and manipulate. Manipulation can trick the manipulation, and when he gathered them, he will push the vote to their ruling party at the end. Watch out! Watch out! It is a trick. To me, it is a calculated and well planned, well calculated trip. Thank you very much. This all right. It says, good afternoon. There is something great coming up from the Grand North for Mr. Tchiroma and Bello Buba to have decided to run for the presidential election away from the ruling alliance. From the alliance with CPDM means something. They have chosen to consider the interests of their people. Don't be surprised that a possible alliance will emerge in the north. Secondly, their breakout is a signal that Mr. Biya might not be the candidate for the CPDM in October 2025. This is Njichia Junior Wambo in Bamenda. Paddy Asanga. Some people are saying that, like this viewer is saying, that the Tchiroma exit is for a better reason, and that they choosing that something big is cooking from the Grand North region. Can there be any surprise from these two candidates as far as the election is concerned? Can they upset the victory?
I'll keep repeating myself. There are other barons in the north who are bigger than Tchiroma and Tchiroma and Bello Buba. You see, we keep talking as if these are the only political parties that are in the north. We have our base in the north. Our chairman is there. Any political party that goes to the north will have followers. And the northerners have come to the realization. You see the way they turned their back when the Secretary General at the presidency went there. That was a clarion call that something needs to be done.
And it did not take long. You had the Minister of the Electoral Administration, you had the Minister of the Prime Minister.
It is not about Tchiroma and Bello Buba. They are fighting for their stomach. These are people who think that at 72 years they can still influence the political sphere. At what age did they come into politics? They should just work. Anybody who resigns from Mr. Biya's government after 70 and so on, please go and rest. Train somebody, look for somebody and put there. Now, asking that something might be cooking from the north. The north is it is some kind of a base of, it has a broad base electorate. Nobody neglects that. And when you take in that factor, these people who think that they are too smart, they are too wise, they will get some people from their family and from their clan out of the basket. But those who want to vote the real opposition will stay in the opposition, and those who want to vote CPDM will stay within the CPDM. So they are just playing what they call political shuranshery. That is what they are doing. So you don't believe in them. Bello Buba, where he lives, even in Pumpumre, he doesn't win 100%. So all these things are noise. I'm saying that it's a bird that is going to die down after 2 weeks, and then we'll go back to the field and see the weight. You cannot tell me that you just like we have candidates who claim that they won the elections in 2018, then they never set foot in the Northwest region, and then they are parading with people who say that they are responsible for the fact that an Anglophone is not the president of this country. And I'm calling on all the Anglophones, be very vigilant where you put your vote. Put your vote where your identity will be protected. Because we have seen clans building up now. We should build up as a political bloc, not as a clan. I am Gusgu, I am Yabasi, I am Basa, I am Bam. No, we Anglophones are a political bloc, and even means forming an Anglophone caucus within the parliament to sell our plight, to carry our voices, make our voices heard. That is the place that we have to be. So we should watch them and watch them vigilantly. It is not only about the presidential elections, but after the presidential election, more important elections are coming that will impact your life even more. Not this type of presidential system where somebody sits in Yaoundé and you have only on the papers you have 15% of decentralization and the perception is 5% on the field. What is that? So we should be very, very vigilant the way we look at these things and put our vote where it is, and let's sit down and watch them. Dambana sense.
Now, you. Let me ask you now. When we are in July, electoral will be called. They will announce in July.
Yes.
We have just few months to go. Now, we have seen that the Social Democratic Front chairman has been able to move across the country in terms of talking. But many critics also have it that SDF is just moving now to talk based on the fact that elections was around the corner. How do you reconcile
Listen,
that?
when was there elections when the chairman deployed himself and his whole team in Bamenda when the Bamenda main market burned? How many politicians went to that scene? Were there elections when the chairman carried himself to go and renovate schools here in Douala? How many people do that? Were there elections when the bridge at here somewhere in Douala at where his constituency renewed? Were there elections? So what are you people talking about? The SDF has its distractor because the SDF is the mother of opposition in this country and has given them the vote. They learn and copy from us, and which is a good thing.
So,
but you cannot come and copy from somebody and you start denigrating that person. You should learn to respect your professors. The SDF is the University of Democracy in this country. We have stood our grounds for 35 years without holding this country in a very balanced situation. So much so that some people come today and say they know it all. Others come today and say they will pick up guns to intimidate us and so on and so forth. We have not done politics with guns, but we know how to go on the field, deploy on the field according to the stakes. There is what they call in politics the opportunity and the reason. So it is not just going on the field for the sake of going on the field. No. There are some underground allowances that are made. When we held our Congress, we had alliances with Workers' Union, Cameroon Labor Union, what they call Kalamo. When we create alliances that transcend our political group, because in Cameroon, we want to plant the culture of syndicates. The SDF is one of those people who would cry foul and make sure that the interest of the working class is protected. And the working class in Cameroon today is not this how many thousand civil servants. No, they are the common people who create jobs for themselves. I don't see why these bike riders cannot put themselves in a union and become a very strong syndicate that can demand for something and get it. That's how it works. So we want to plan. This is the type of political education that we offer sometimes for free, and we have to implant this culture in every working group. Talk about the last time those people, the nurses in somewhere in Limbe were marching because one of them were arrested. That is the spirit. That is what the SDF is all about. All for one, one for all. Together the bundle is strong. So that's what I'm saying. So let's not.
I know we echoing this the mystery of the famous UB of one for all.
But what is wrong in that?
Okay.
What is wrong in that?
No, nothing wrong with that.
So we have to stay strong and make sure that we keep our cards to our chest. We will not pull out our own cards now. And I'm talking to every Anglophone, be it in the government or out of the government.
Good afternoon to you all in the studio. The current system has made Cameroonians to move away from politics. Everyone goes around searching for their daily bread when political activities are going on with the notion that there is an automatic winner. Cameroonians need a lot of political education to bring back their political interests, which can only be done with the destruction of the current, which can only be done with the destruction of the current system. This is Kevin writing from the United States of America. This other one says, good afternoon, Jarvis, and all your panelists. All political associations in Cameroon, should form a single political party and chase away the CPD, and not if not they would come after October to be shouting president-elect. This is coming from Lagos, Nigeria. This other right, it says, happy Sunday to you guys in the studio. Nice program. Okay, we are almost out of time, but Okay, we are almost out of time, but there's something I want to ask every member here. Engineer Dixon. When we see the geopolitics is changing, in the north, they are trying to position. In the south, the same thing is almost occurring with the south. CPGM was almost falling out with some big wing in the south region. They are positioning. Now, if you look at the Anglophone community, where are we?
I think that's what Mr. Paddy Asanga was saying, that the Anglophone community needs mobilization. We need to also come out as a bloc. And believe me, I totally agree politically. When we come out as a bloc, a voting bloc, that's when we can really make demands, and those demands will be met based on mutual respect. Because if we are not united and our elites don't orchestrate this unity, political unity, all the youths need to come together and we form a strong bloc. That is when I believe that the Anglophone community, the Northwest and Southwest, can really get what they want as far as development is concerned. So it's a wake-up call, and I think I followed Barrister Bobala. He has a movement for I've forgotten, movement for a civil society movement. He was given a wake-up call that they know they have formed a very strong voting bloc.
Yes.
The South are positioning themselves. Where are the Anglophones? I followed it, I think, 2 days ago. It just resonates with what you are asking now. And sincerely speaking, it was a wake-up call. I was like, wow, this is true. We are not really united in voting per se. Because even those of us who are in Douala, majority of us registered here in Douala.
Yep.
Nobody thought of rushing to Biya to register in Biya and trying to go and vote in Biya, or register in Bamenda to go and vote in Bamenda, you know, which is something which is common with the Northeast. You see a Northeast in Yaoundé, go and register in Figi. During voting, we pay transport, go and vote in Figi and come back. It's common with them because that mobilization is there, but we don't have that culture yet. But I think that as it has started, civil society is talking about it, the academic class will be thinking about it, and I believe someday we'll form that block sooner or later.
Okay, Paddy Asanga, the same thing to which is playing. We see the North is, briefly, the North is strategizing, this East is strategized, the South is strategizing, and what of the North political elite? I'm looking at political elite, the North, the Anglophone community.
You see, he who laughs last laughs best. I think that the Anglophone political elite, you know, we are politically more mature than the Francophones because we are the first democratic entity. I'm talking of those of the former British Southern Cameroons. We know what democracy is. And he who laughs last laughs best. We should not get into the hurry. Let them do what they are doing, and then we re-strategize so that we come out as a strong Anglophone voting bloc. We should get ourselves registered and watch them play. I'm telling you, this thing is going to end within 2 weeks. And the next month, we'll be talking about something else. As we get closer, we'll come out too with our own strategy.
Okay.
Don't hold your cards to your chest. That's what I mean.
Okay.
Don't let them see the cards that you want to put on the table.
Nick Anu.
And now we have already seen the cards that other communities are putting. I don't know based on which political entity that they belong. Because this country is made up of two political conflictogenic identities, which is Anglophone and Francophone. So Northeast, Southeast, what are you have on the table? The backbone, the economic backbone and the educational backbone in this country today is held by the two Anglophone regions. We have a plethora of schools in Garwa, in Douala, all Anglophone schools, but it is not Anglophone cannot rule the country. Something be wrong.
Okay, people are strategizing. Do you also have that feeling that the Anglophone political class are being left behind, or as Utai Paddy saying that you will laugh best?
No, I think it is a wake-up call for the Anglophone elite, especially the elites that are not within the ruling CPDM, because we know These are manipulative elites that cannot take Anglophones anywhere. And we are talking about Anglophone, free-spirited Anglophone who are of the civil society and other sectors of life. They should be like working within the background. Those who are in the political scene, in the opposition, they should be working in the background. They should be working their own strategy. As this year, there will be a lot of surprises. Come next month, when the electoral will be announced, you will see a lot of surprises that we did not think of. Come even October, there will be a lot of surprises, and so Anglophones should not be sleeping behind.
Okay.
We should be working at every level. Our meeting houses, we should be strategizing from there. Our village meetings, our social meetings, we should be strategizing from there. There will be surprises this year.
Oh, thank you very much for coming, Nick.
Thank you for having me. It is always our duty to contribute to nation building by this little advocacy that we do here from time to time. Thank you.
Padi Asanga, thank you for coming.
Yes, Mr. Jarvis, thank you for this common initiative that you call the House of Commons that is meant for the commoners. We shall always be here. Thank you.
Our greetings to the chairman. And the veteran.
Yes. Day zero Dambu, our day zero in Hamburg. I say, Asalona.
Okay, our greetings to them. Okay, and of course, the son of Miami. Son of the son of Miami, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Jarvis. Just a small remark. I think every nation has a background, and we should be serious when we want to change status quo. Cameroon has never had a president based on ballot box from Amadou Ahidjo right up to Biya. I think that if we are going to change the status quo, that we are going to have a president from ballot box, we should get serious about it. It's not going to be an easy fight.
No, when you say ballot box, but President Biya has been on the ballot box.
I said he's coming to power. His ascension to power was never through ballot box.
Maintenance in power.
Maintenance in power has been through ballot box. The same with President Amadou Ahidjo. His ascension to power was never through ballot box. So that is a background I'm trying to talk about.
But we are in
every country has a background, and that is a playbook of the presidential democracy of Cameroon. So we should get serious if we want to change our status quo.
But there's something called the
Mr. Jarvis, we should get serious if we want to change our status quo. That's what I'm saying.
I
Yes.
know what he's talking about.
Now I understand, but something may happen. Political dynamic may happen.
Underline the word serious.
No, I understand.
It's not,
I understand. It's just that someone may misconstrue or
No, there is no misconception in what he's trying to say.
Thank you,
because
Buddy.
the backbone of this country is in the human constitution.
Thank you, Buddy.
Let's look at it.
Thank you. I want to thank all those who took our time to watch and to text on this program. I want to say that this program will be rebroadcast today at 10:30 p.m. You have a rebroadcast of this same program if you actually came late. If you want to be a panelist of the program, you can contact me. The numbers that were on your screen, the numbers you had on your screen is my number 676431384. You can contact me in case you want to sponsor our program or you want to advertise within this same program, House of Commons. We can actually contact me 676431384. We will also be there to give you the free advertisement rate for the program House of Commons and channel it to your marketing team where they can tell you how you can get to the program House of Commons. It will also be on our YouTube channel, BT Media Group or My Media Prime. We have two YouTube channels. We have BT Media Group and My Media Prime. Any of them, you have the program on the YouTube this evening. Until we should also be reminded that registrations are ongoing, and very soon, very soon, they will close the registration portal for the 2025 presidential election, because in July, Electoral will be called. People will start submitting their documents for scrutiny. Then after that, the list will be published for those who have been who have met the criteria to stand in as the presidential candidate for the 2025 presidential election. Make sure you go and register and cast your ballot. Don't be among those who will stay behind and only go and count the vote and see they don't cheat we. Did you vote? They don't cheat we. Until we meet again, no matter the matter, what matters is your matter. And what should matter this day is that you should stay out of trouble. My name is Tah Mai Jarvis, Cameroon's commercial capital, Douala. Thank you, John Bye bye.